is another very important exercise, and it's about exactly how you set the stage to attract your ideal client. And you can actually do that. What I'm going to outline and share with you is an exercise that some of the leading marketers in the world use and some of the leading copywriters use. I've seen, different variations of this that are almost very just like this from people like Jeff Walker, who is responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and product launches, all around the world. From people like Frank Kern, who is one of the most brilliant copy editors around. From Mike Koenigs, who works with an army of marketers and others. Eben Pagan is another gentleman who is a copywriter extraordinaire. And these gentlemen, among them have been responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars in sales for everything, for working from industries like real estate to other types of thing, dating products, and just about everything. And working with an ideal client is something we all aspire to. In real estate, there are people you enjoy working with and some people you don't enjoy working with. And the more you understand about your ideal client, the more you understand the core values that person has and who that person is, the more likely you are to attract that person if you have those special characteristics of your client in the top of your mind, and if those are things you talk about. We talk about becoming part of the conversation. Well, if you know who your perfect client is, then it becomes much easier to become a part of that conversation when you know a little bit more about who that client is. So we're going to go through an exercise right now. And I want you to spend some time with them. I'll go over it here in the video. And then I want you to shut down the video, and I want you to spend some really serious time, because this is a very, very good exercise. And once you've done this, you have created the beginning of the seeds of the conversations that you can have online, the conversations that you can have in your blog, that you can have in your email autoresponders, that you can have in the discussion forums where you participate at various places. So let's go over to that and let's start with that. This is the first of a couple of exercises that really are advanced copywriting exercises, and we'll start with that. The title of this exercise is Who is Your Ideal Client Avatar? And what we're doing, and we're using some copywriting vernacular here, and I think it's a good idea to get used to that a little bit, is we are creating your avatar, and the avatar is your perfect client. And again, this is language that copywriters use, and this is a concept that all major companies and marketers use, is to identify an ideal client. A lot of real estate agents like to be all things to all people. They like to sell first-time home buyer homes and luxury homes and all kinds of things, and commercial properties and all sorts of things. Well, your ideal client is not a person who is buying everything. I mean, it would be nice if people bought everything, but the client that you are going to connect with on the most levels, the client that you are going to have the most success with, the client that you are going to be able to best represent from from legal standpoint, the person you're going to have the most fun with showing houses, or the most fun working, to sell their home, is a person who we're going to call your ideal client or your avatar. And we really do want to get to narrow that down to a single person. And if you're finding that you're finding your, that there's some resistance to that, I'm going to, ask you to please, suspend your disbelief and just get to the other side of that and work with me on this, because it really is, a core element of developing your voice, telling your story, attracting your ideal client is a single person. So let's just do that. I mean, I have an ideal client myself, and I'll just share that with you before we start here, because I work in real estate marketing and consulting. My ideal and education, and my ideal client has a name, and her name is Jean, and she's 50. She's 52 years old, and Jean's been in business for years and years and years, and she's a great realtor. She's been in business, I guess, about 25 or 30 years, and she knows her stuff. She knows what she's doing, but she she doesn't really have a handle on marketing. She really doesn't have a handle on developing a web presence. She hasn't even touched her geolocal presence yet. And, and she sees a lot of younger people passing her by and, capturing a lot of leads. And she's starting to pay referral fees for people and agents who are living in her own market area who are real good at capturing leads, but, don't really have the people skills as real estate agents, who are really not the negotiators, and who don't have that kind of knowledge. So there is that kind of disconnect, and that's the kind of an avatar that I have built in my business, and that's very, very specific, and it's a very interesting kind of I have some really great stories about that I can share at some point, and I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm just using that to illustrate the point. So let's talk about this. Let me go through this list of questions, and then I want you to shut down the video and spend some time and answer every single one of them. And these are going to be important questions to have before we start tomorrow's exercise, which is very, very closely related to this. So who is your avatar? Who is that? Who is that? Is that a man or a woman? And what is your avatar's name? How do you think about your avatar? I mean, who is your avatar? Is your avatar a first-time home buyer? Is your avatar a luxury buyer? Is your avatar an investor who wants to buy, a property every month? That's who the avatar is. Is it a man or a woman? What is your avatar's name? How old is that person? And what does that person do for a living? All key points. We're creating a profile of a person. How much money does your avatar make on a yearly basis? Is that person married or single or living with a partner? Are there children? It's a bunch of space here. What does your avatar like, and what does your avatar dislike? What types of foods do they like? Do they like politics? Do they dislike, are they Republicans who dislike Democrats? Are they Democrats who are unhappy with Republicans? What is your avatar about? What makes them tick? What makes that person tick? And what makes that person interesting? What are their interests or hobbies? Or interests and hobbies? What do they like to do? Do they like photography? Do they like to bake? Do they, are they religious? What do they do? What does your avatar really want in life? What do they really, really want? What are the major hot points in your avatar's life? And what is your avatar's chief fear? What keeps your avatar awake at night? What is it that is most troubling? What is your avatar's chief frustration? All right, so think about those things and really give it some thought. If you were working with your absolutely, the perfect client, and you could put that client and make a cookie cutter and just do nothing but work with your favorite kind of person in the whole wide world, and you could design that person, imagine that you're doing that right here on this sheet of paper. On this document, you are creating your perfect, your ideal client, okay, when it comes to real estate and housing, what is your avatar's desires? What outcome are they looking for? What is the main goal that your avatar has in a quest for housing? And what can you offer that avatar that he or she doesn't even know about yet? You know, what special gift do you bring to the table that you can share with that avatar that avatar doesn't know about? So this may be a little bit different than some of the other exercises you've done in real estate. But when you are crafting your voice, you know, speaking in your voice, telling a story, you are talking to people on the other end. You know, not just bots from Google, you know, not just robotic, you know, digital beings that, you know, without a heart and soul. You're talking to real people when you're selling houses. And this exercise is one of the most important exercises you will ever do. If you are blogging and you haven't done this exercise yet, then it's time you did this. If you're not blogging yet and you want to blog, then this exercise will give you some amazing clues into the, you know, into the core, into the, you know, into the heart and soul of the person you want to work with. The person you want to work with over and over and over again. And wouldn't it be just absolutely lovely to be able to attract the ideal clients into your business and into your life that bring joy into a transaction as well as the dollars? And when you attract those kinds of people into your business, you're going to be attracting those kinds of people into your referral business as well. So have fun with this exercise, and I will see you in the next video.